Men of Reddit, what are some things a mom should know while raising a boy? Don't tease your sons about any female friends, it usually leads to issues with them being unable to talk to you about things when they actually do like someone. This is one of the most important pieces of advice out there. My mom thinks every female friend I've ever had is a crush, when that's simply not the case. As such, I can't talk to her about female friends anymore. Remember going on a camping trip with several friends, both boys and girls. I had my camping gear at my front door and was getting a couple last-minute things. Friends show up, one of the girl just starts loading my stuff in the car, my grandmother says to me she's cute, what don't you date her? Ugh, A, she's a friend, B, she'd never date me, C, we don't have a lot in common, etc etc etc. I'm in my 30s and single and still deal with this. I went out for drinks with some colleagues after a work function and some of our family members came along. Within the group was a single woman from down the hall. All that my dad had to hear was that she was available and within proximity. Apparently that's sufficient reason alone to date someone. The whole common wisdom about not dating coworkers aside, I'm not interested in her romantically whatsoever. Hell, we're not even friends, just superficial work acquaintances. Now, if I was interested in someone, I would consider tossing aside the workplace rule thing, but dating people out of convenience is just silly. Edit, spelling. My dad assumes any woman who shows me any attention, wants to fuck me. It's very obnoxious, especially when he says it about bartenders who are like 3 feet away and can obviously hear us. I'm pretty sure she just wants a good tip, Dad. My mom still does this to a certain degree and I'm almost 40. Like if we go out to dinner and the server and I get into some banter, she'll say she's cute, you should get her number, while she's less than 2 steps away from our table. It fucked with me a lot as a kid by exacerbating the social anxiety I was already trying to manage. She meant well and still does, we've talked about it, I'm sure. Maybe they forget in that moment what it's like to be a kid, how things can feel so big and frightening. But with the perspective you get with age, you know the world doesn't end if they say no. When you're 14 though, it can fucking ruin your camping trip. My mom usually knows my friends from high school, so she knows who I'm talking about but doesn't pry when it's a friend from college. But my dad usually ends up along, is this friend a girl, but I would just say I never said her. My dad could care less to remember my friends or their names. My mom remember them and will always be friendly. I think that's kind of how things go. My friend's mom are always friendly when we're over and the dad is just kind of there. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't know my name. My mom teased me for a whole day when I told her I liked a classmate back when I was 15. I had to actually yell at her to stop doing that. That day destroyed the confidence I had with her in that regard, and I've never talked to her about any girl I've been with afterwards. I had a crush on a girl in 5th grade and my mom made me get a Valentine's gift for her. I stayed inside from lunch that entire year afterwards and I didn't want to talk to anyone. That killed me socially. God dang, why did she encourage that? I relate to this so much. When I was little, literally any time I ever talked about a female friend to my mom would give me this really smug side smile and my dad would calmly say, "Now Tangus, do you like this girl? Is she your girlfriend?" And would giggle to themselves. It always made me feel really gross for some reason, like I was hiding something I wasn't, and reinforced some really negative gender roles. Even in high school, my parents would obsess over any female friend of mine they met that they wanted me to date, or hoped would be my crush. Relentlessly bringing it up, even when someone was openly gay. It was very insulting to them in my opinion and gave me a twisted sense of distrust. I'm now 26 and they still ask about those girls from time to time, what they're up to, what they're doing, if we talk, even though I haven't spoken to most of them in nearly a decade and have a serious girlfriend of nearly 4 years.